Hey there, country collectors. This is a video I never imagined in my life that I would be making. On a recent trip to Cambodia, my friend Olivia and I were violently assaulted by a crazed Russian tourist in Angkor Wat, one of the holiest Buddhist sites in the world. And we were surrounded by crowds of people, of fellow tourists, guides, security.
And no one of you helps.
No one helped us. And what makes things worse is that what happens next make the situation that much more scary and that much worse. I don't want to make a video about how dangerous Cambodia is. I don't want to make a video that might hurt the wonderful people that live there. They've suffered so much. They just had a genocide 44 years ago. It's horrific. But I was honestly scared for my life. And in all of the traveling that I've ever done around the world, I've never felt this unsafe. So I feel like it's important to make this video, even if there are consequences for it, because people need to know. You need to know that you can go someplace and be safe. You need to know that you can go into a temple and pray and not have to worry about being attacked. So this is my story. This is what happened. I hope that it gives you some insight, and I hope that it helps you to not go into a similar situation like this. Angkor Wat is the largest religious complex in the world. It's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It was built in the 12th century and to this day remains an active place of pilgrimage and prayer. It's a place that holds such deep cultural significance that it's actually on their flag, and it represents the resilience. It represents what they've been through. It represents how strong they are. So this place is extremely special. This place is something that all Cambodians, feel inside them. Our day began just walking around the temples. We went there for sunrise. It's 1,000 years old, but the magic is still there. It hasn't diminished at all. We wandered into the grounds, and there were little pockets of tourists, and monks were everywhere. They were chatting, they were friendly. They even let us take some videos and photos with them. One even joined our community. Welcome, my friend. Namaste. We continued our morning. We felt so good. We just kept on exploring, and we went to a few more temples, and they were just stunning. Each one of them takes your breath away in a different way. We finally got to Tapram, which has always been one of my favorite temples. The trees grow out through the actual temples, and they've left it like that, and it creates this incredible nature, and the architecture and the stonework all kind of live together, and it's just absolutely amazing. But it's a place you go and you take photos, and and it feels good. And we walked around, and we're taking our photos, and we're standing in line with 12 or 13 other people. And this man just kind of walks up and just stomps his feet right up into the front and just says, "Take picture." And the woman says, "I'm sorry, I can't take your picture. You have to stand at the back of the line." And he says, "Take picture." And I said, I'm watching this, and I'm like, "Excuse me, sir, there's actually a line. You need to go to the back of the line like everybody else. I don't know if you didn't know that, but it's back here. And then when it's your turn, someone will take a photo for you." He looks at me and he says, "I am Russian. I do what I want, when I want. Now take picture now." Are you kidding? Is this a cartoon character? Is this a satirical man from a book somewhere? No, this is a real person who is being aggressive and angry because he got asked to follow the rules. Well, that's when he put his hand on me and he said, "You get in my picture. Who you think you are?" And I was like, "Dude, take your hands off of me. Just walk away. Get in line like everybody else." And he leaves. He finally leaves, and the people in the crowd are like, "Thank you so much for standing up for us. Thank you, thank you. We appreciate you. You did the right thing. We're so sorry you had to go through that," and took photos for us. Well, we think it's over. So we start walking, and we're walking. And all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see this guy standing there waiting for us. So I'm like, "Olivia, let's wait over here." So we stop, and we're waiting. And then he's gone, so we start walking again, and I see him again, and we get to the next tree, and he confronts us. And I start yelling for security. I'm like, security, we need someone here right now. We need someone to help us. This guy is being violent. This guy is being aggressive. Please help us. And the people just looked at us and didn't do anything. Well, it scared him enough that he took off when I said the security. So it happens a second time, and then the third and final time. Now, man, we were standing at that last temple. We had asked for directions to leave. We were just trying to get out. We just wanted this situation to be over. And all of a sudden, he just pops up out of nowhere. And he says, "You need to talk to me now. You're not man if you not talk to me." And I was like, "Look, man, I don't need to prove anything to you. And I have nothing to say to you. So please get away." And he put his hand on my shoulder, and Olivia stepped in between us and said, "We don't want to talk to you. Just please go away. Please leave us alone." And I turn and I'm looking at the security. We're surrounded by security. We're surrounded by the people that work there. And I say, "Can somebody please help us?" And then I hear this sound that makes my stomach feel sick. And as I turn, I see Olivia dropping down as his fist glances off of her face. It was like a as she tried to duck underneath, and she got punched in the face. And as I look up, he sucker punches me as well. Now, at this moment, I have this like flash, and the next thing I know, I'm laying on the ground underneath this crazed Russian animal, and he's cursing and spitting and has his finger in my eye to the point that it feels like it's gonna explode. And I have this sort of out-of-body experience, and I'm looking down thinking, why won't anyone help me? And I hear Olivia screaming, "Help, please, someone help him. Please do something." And no one is doing anything, and I'm sitting there watching it, and rather than see my life flash before my eyes, I flash to 25 minutes before, and I see us asking for help, and I see us telling the people that are supposed to protect us that there's something wrong, and I see them ignoring us, and all I can think is, if they had just listened to us, this entire situation would have been completely avoided. If someone had just been there to tell him he had to stand in line like everybody else, this whole situation would have been completely avoided. But now, I'm looking down on myself with true and genuine fear for my life, and at very least my sight, and I don't want to fight. I'm not an aggressive person. I'm a Buddhist. I was there to pray, but there are times when necessity calls to protect yourself. And if that means that you have to fight back, then you have to fight back. So I did. I fought back for my life. I fought back for my sight. I fought back for the honor of that woman that got punched in the face. And I Putined him down into the ground. And he went rushing out of there with his tail between those jean shorts. And I don't say this with pride. This is not a joke to me. I didn't go to the temple this day to be experiencing some bad Rocky remake of Russia against the US, Cambodian carnage. That's not what I came here for. I came here to pray. And I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed that I had to fight. But not as ashamed I would be as if I had let somebody blind me, or let somebody walk away from hurting a woman like that. And nobody stood up. I had to fight because no one did anything. I was forced into a situation that no one should be in, that no one should have to go through. And then he runs off and no one does anything. Here's some footage of it. You can see the aftermath. You can see what it was like when we got outside. You can see how they just sort of dismissed us. So we went outside. Witnesses came forward and they tried to tell them what happened.
Yeah.
It's not his fault.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I got attacked.
You don't worry, calm down.
No,
calm down.
no. You listen to him.
It was, we don't know each other. Like,
I don't know this person.
I just know that we were there.
You do?
That it wasn't your fault.
Please,
I just wanted to make sure that you
please. Thank you.
Have a photo of every visitor in the temple because
Yeah.
nationality and all the Russian things.
Yeah. Thanks for your help.
And he punched me in the face.
And we called security. Nobody
I called
moved.
for help. No one would come. They're all standing there.
It's unbelievable.
It is. And
Nobody
no-
moves.
no
I said,
tourists stood up
don't you
either.
help?
If I saw you getting beat up, I would come and help you.
That's what
If
I
I
was
saw
saying.
you getting beat up, I would come and help you. You all watched. You watched. You let me get beat up in your temple.
It works for you is all I'm saying. Yeah. Because that guy ran off.
Thank you. I appreciate you. What's your name?
Hey, Kevin.
Kevin. Nice to meet you, Kevin. Thank you so much for coming out to say.
And the police just kind of like shook them off and told them to, no, you can go. You have to go here. You're going to the police station. And I mean, at this point, I've completely lost it. No one cares. So they take me to a little holding area where they essentially are interrogating me out in front of all these other Cambodians, and they have the Russian guy there. Wow, yay, somebody grabbed him, wonderful. Well, they're just sitting there and they start questioning me, and I'm like, I need medical care. I need someone to help me. So they don't have a first aid kit, so they send somebody out to get a first aid kit. Fine, great, whatever. Person comes back. The care they're giving me is like a 2-year-old. And I eventually had to take it from them and put it on myself, because again, no one is listening to me. No one is helping me. No one seems to care about anything that's happened to either one of us.
And we need to go to hospital for his eyes.
And I got.
Eye.
He took his finger in my eye blurry. Cannot see. Yeah, cannot see.
Can we go to the hospital?
Need to go to hospital.
Can we go to hospital right now? Yeah, hospital. We need a hospital.
Yeah, no, they know.
We need to go. You tell them we need to go to hospital.
So finally I just say, look, I'm not going to the police station until I go to the hospital. And they say, okay, just get in the tuk-tuk and we'll take you to the hospital. Okay. Well, all of a sudden we drive 25 minutes and we're at the police station, and I'm like, I told you I have to go to the hospital. And the guy says, okay, just talk to the police first. So I get out and this guy's eating his lunch, who doesn't look happy that he has to stop to help the bleeding guy who can't see out of his eye. And I try to explain to him the situation, and I tell him that I think that my eye is damaged and I could go blind, and he laughs at me.
I am bleeding. My eye is blurry. I hope my eye doesn't go blind. It's funny to you? It's funny to you.
He laughs in my face. So at this point I just say, you know what? I'm not answering any of your questions until I go to a real hospital. Period. So we get into the tuk-tuk and we go to the real hospital, but not without a police escort. They had me escorted to the hospital and then had the escort stay in the hospital with me so I wouldn't run. I got attacked. Olivia got attacked. And I'm being treated like a criminal. It just completely blows my mind. I needed ultrasounds. I had to get x-rays. I had to get bandaged. I have bruised ribs. My head is cut all around, as you can see from those photos I showed you before. My eye was blurry for like 3 days. This is just the first day, day number 4 afterwards, where it's finally starting to be fully 100% itself. I mean, this guy was trying to blind me. I was in so much pain. I got a huge shot of something in my hip and lay in a room with people literally dying around me. It was so scary. I'm so grateful that Olivia was there, because it was like the most lonely place I feel like you could have been in that moment, feeling that way, like the entire world had abandoned you. So they finally take me to the police station around 9 o'clock would be my guess. And we get there, and the guy who's sitting there didn't know what we were coming in about, so we had to explain the story again to him. Well, we tell him, and he says, oh, well, what do you want out of this? And I'm like, what do you mean, what do I want out of this? I want justice. I want this guy to be prosecuted for attacking us in a temple. He punched a woman in the face in your temple and attacked me because we asked him to stand in line. Something needs to be done. And he says, well, we don't really have laws here about that. And I said, you don't have laws about violence between people in your country? You don't have laws about someone attacking someone? You don't have laws about any of these things? And he says, no, sir, we have other types of laws, but not laws like that. You don't have laws like this. So I do a quick Google search, and I'm like, well, sir, it says right here that in your country, you go to jail for 5 years for attacking someone in a temple. Oh, well, yes, there are those laws, sir. And I'm like, honestly, I just can't do this right now. I'm tired. I haven't eaten in hours. I've been hospitalized. I'm still bleeding. I need to go back to the hotel. So they say, okay, fine. Come back tomorrow. So we go home, barely sleep, come back the next day, and it's laughable. Now everyone is in their uniforms and they're all sitting there, and the secretaries are taking photos of them while they're interrogating us, which is what they were doing. They were interrogating us. They sounded so nice at first, but then they quickly got aggressive and quickly would ask a question and then cut us off as soon as we would start to tell the answer. At one point he actually said, "We don't care about the details. I don't care about the details." You're a police officer. Isn't that your job? Isn't your job literally the details? They just made you feel like they didn't care. And by letting you know they didn't care, you knew that whatever happened to you didn't matter to them. And that's really, really scary. When the people that are here protecting you, are supposed to be there protecting you, just don't give a damn. So he writes down my statement in Cambodian and then wants me to sign it, and I'm like, I can't sign that, I can't read it. He said, oh no, it's just normal. You just sign it and put your fingerprint. And I'm like, I'm not signing your document that I can't read. And people never sign a document you can't read. And if you can get a lawyer, get a lawyer. Call your embassy. Make sure you've already called the embassy at this point, because it's scary. So I refused, and eventually he said, okay, I'll take it to my boss anyway, even though you didn't sign it. It's procedure, but okay. So he comes back and says, what do you want from this? And I'm like, we want justice. She got punched in the face and I got attacked. And he said, well, you were fighting as well in the temple. And I'm like, but we got attacked. I was protecting myself because no one else would come and help me. Your guards didn't come. The police didn't help. No one. And he said, well, you still committed violence in our temple, so you'll both need to go to jail for 3 years if you'd like to proceed. Now, I'm not telling you what to do, but if you choose to proceed, we will need to take you into custody immediately, and it will take a long time before you can go to court. And then you'll be convicted for 3 years because we have the video of you fighting. And I'm like, you have a video of us fighting? Great. Let's get more video. Let's see it. Let's get this information. There were lots of people there. There were people that had name badges on. There were people that worked there. These are people's stations in the temple. So let's go back and talk to them. I don't think we need to do that, sir. I've seen one video, and he shows me a video of like 20 seconds at the end where I finally got on top of him to protect myself and get him away. So now I'm guilty. So I say, well, okay, let's just pause on this for a second. Let's say I am guilty. We need to have two separate police cases here. Olivia got punched in the face and she didn't do anything. She didn't lay a hand on anybody, and she got punched in the face. And he looks at us and says, punched in the face or touched in the face? Punched in the face or touched in the face? And I say, punched in the face, punched in the face. And the other officer looks and goes, touched in the face or punched in the face? And this was like our little conversation for 30 seconds. And then finally he says, because he big Russian man, if he punch her as hard as he can in face, she get knocked out cold. She not get knocked out. She not have big black eye. And she says, well, I tried to dodge the punch. I saw it coming and he just hit me while I was trying to duck down below it. He said, so I not think he hit you that hard. So it's okay to hit a woman lightly in the temple? You can just punch people lightly, so I can just walk up and be like, boop. That's okay. Oh, no, that's okay. Sorry. Was that too hard? I didn't mean for that to be too hard. Let me try again. Beep. It's ridiculous. You're supposed to be here to protect us. So far, I've been laughed at by the police, called a liar by the police, had the police follow me in the hospital to make sure I didn't run away like I was a criminal. And now their indifference is just appalling. They basically demanded that right now, right then, we had to tell them what we wanted to do. Either we are going forward and we are going to go to jail for 3 years, or we are dropping it and we have to write an apology letter, heartfelt, to the Cambodian people and the police, begging their forgiveness and promising that we'll never do something like this again. What? I got attacked in your temple. A woman got attacked in your temple. Now we're gonna go to jail? Now I'm gonna go to jail with this Russian guy that attacked us because we asked him to be in line? What is wrong with you people? And they didn't care. He basically just waved me off. He waved me off. Their attitude, it was so cavalier, like it was already decided. They didn't care what I was saying. And on the way out, he suggested that we go back to the temples and enjoy ourselves. And I'm like, enjoy ourselves? What? If we're gonna go to a temple where this guy might be and we have to worry about being attacked? And he said, that's highly improbable. And I'm like, highly improbable. It happened yesterday. It happened yesterday. You don't think it could happen again today? Enjoy your temples. You know what? I'm sorry, but I can't enjoy your temples. And that's sad because it was so magical. The whole day started out so well. And then it turned into this nightmare. A real, live nightmare. Would I do this again? Knowing what the consequences would be, knowing the pain I would be in, knowing that I could be jailed? 1,000%. 1,000 times. I would do it as many times as it took because it's the right thing to do. And we need people out there in the world doing the right thing. We, the good people, need to look out for each other. We need to say no. We need to stick together because when we don't, it tells these people they can do whatever they want. If you don't say something, no one will. And that's the truth. You can't just assume someone else is going to step up. You have to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Every time, not sometimes. That's what a good person is. We ask for help and accept it when we can, and we are always striving to be better versions of ourselves. And when we do that together, imagine what the world could be. Imagine the place that we could live in if we all just stood up for each other. It's just sad to me that this is the state of what people have become. I mean, COVID happened and the world was crazy and we were all so separate. Well, now we're back together, people. Why aren't we looking out for each other? And I know I mentioned before that I was mad at the Cambodians, but having taken a few days to think about this, a younger version of myself probably wouldn't have done this, but these people that didn't stand up, that were Cambodians, they have to live with these police all the time. I get to leave. They're here, and that's who they have to go to when they need help. Everybody we asked about the police would quickly avert their eyes, would quickly put their head down and say, no, we don't like to talk about the police. And then the people would come to us on the side and say, be very careful, be very careful. They're gonna ask you for money, be very careful. Like the people, you could see the fear in their eyes, and I feel terrible about that. I'm so sorry that this happened. I'm so sorry that this happened in your holy place, in some place that is so important to you. I never meant to violate it in any way. So from the deepest part of my soul, I apologize. But don't forget, deep down inside of every one of you is a country collector, and we can do anything. We don't let an incident like this make us think we can't travel. Was it scary? Yes, but you know what? I'm stronger because of it, and now that you know about it, you can be stronger from it too. If we stick together, we can do anything. And don't forget that there's going to be good days and bad days wherever you are. There's going to be good and bad people, good and bad police. It's just the reality of the world. That day was not my day. And hopefully you never have one yourself, but now you know the details, now you know what happened, and now you know what the risk is. So bear it in mind, be your best version, help other people, and let's just be the best to each other. If you enjoyed this video, or maybe not enjoyed it, but if you found it helpful, please give me a big thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to ling 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 the bell. Kap kung kap. I'll see you next week.